We've unlocked a new space. Welcome back. If you're new, my name is Kristen, and you've reached my little corner of the internet. Internet. Let's do that again. Welcome back. If you're new, my name is Kristen, and you've reached my little corner of the internet. Today, we are going through every single book that I own, and you're probably like, "Why, Kristen? Why? That sounds so boring." It does. In case you didn't know, I don't store any of my read books in my bedroom. They are actually stored downstairs in another room in my house. It is our gym slash, we like to call it the game room because my brother plays video games in here. So I work out in here. My mom works out in here. And now it is also slash library because it is where I store all of my books. And why are all my books out from their bookshelf, do you ask? Well, our old bookshelf that we used to have in this room, my mom got rid of it and wanted a new one. So all those books had to come out and they are now arranged here as you see, and they need to go back inside said shelf, new shelf. And I just thought, well, all the books are pulled out, so I might as well show you what is in my collection, even though you can probably see a majority of them now and you're like, okay, great, I saw it, now I can leave. No, stay, please. We're going to be doing some reorganization. I'll be going through like series I've read and just everything that, this is all the books I've ever read. Some are gone. We have some fallen soldiers. I did sell a few of my books. There are still some in this pile that are on my like want to sell list. So we'll be organizing things into piles, authors, genres, series. So sit back, relax. There's not going to be like, I don't know how much talking I'm actually going to be doing. I will be putting in an audiobook at some point, but let's get these into piles, see what we're working with here, and we'll go from there. All right. Let's have a good time. Yeah. All right, here is a quick overview of what I got going on. It looks like a mess, but it's like an organized mess. So over here are the books that I want to sell slash get rid of, donate, what have you. These are all, I think, currently listed on my Pango and Mercari, which is linked down below if you want to check it out if any books here interest you. And then this pile right here are solo authors, like authors that only have one book of theirs, or like their standalone romances specifically, by the way, duh. Most of these are romances. And then in the back here, I have Throne of Glass, and then Fourth Wing, and then Akatar back there. Hey guys. And then this pile is romance of authors. I have two or more books of theirs. I know there's one Christina Lauren book down there. The other one's right there. So yeah, there's Archer's Voice, and then I believe these are all of Ashley Poston's books. And then Oh, and then these two books are If He Had Been With Me, and then we have the Summer I Turned Pretty series, which the finale was last night, and oh my gosh. And then the pile continues on. I know there's only one Annabelle Monaghan book. The other one is upstairs. I just haven't read it yet. And then we have Crazy Rich Asians here. And then I have Liana Sankati's, her two books there. And then Hannah Grace's two books, which are, or three books, Icebreaker, Wildfire, and Daydream. Love Daydream. Oh, Sarah Adams, When in Rome, Practice Makes Perfect. And the other one that just came out, Beg, Borrow, or Steal, that one. And then on the bottom is the Lauren Asher's series, the what is it, Dreamland Billionaire series. So I have that trilogy down there too. And then we have the Addicted Calloway Sisters series there. And then this is kind of like miscellaneous. I know that's the first book in the Zodiac Academy. I have the other two upstairs. I finished two already, and then I'm listening to book three right now. So eventually that will come together as a series. And then I have Sunrise on the Reaping, Red Rising, which are both part of a series. And then Alice Feeney, two of her books there. I have another one somewhere over here. Oh, down there under Mile High. Yep, there it is. And then I have To Kill a Mockingbird there, which I think I read in high school or something like that. And I didn't get rid of the book, or this might be my brother's copy. I have no idea. And then I have these two books by Tisonia Odette, the Entangled with Fae series. I've only read these two books, and I've been meaning to get back into these because they're all on Kindle Unlimited. I have no excuse now. And I really liked these two books that I read by her. They're basically like reimagined, like fairy tales. So like this one's like Beauty and the Beast, and Heart of the Raven Prince is like Cinderella. So they're pretty cool. And she has like a whole series with like Snow White and the Little Mermaid and stuff. So I want to get back into those books. This is becoming an overview of my collection, and I'm just jumping right in. I'm so sorry. And so next we have Elsie Silver, all of her books. Chestnut Springs with Heartless on top because it was separated when the books were taken out of the original shelves. But and then we have, what is this series called? Rose Hill. And I just started Wild Card today, which is safe to say I'm enjoying Wild Card a lot. And then I have all of Ali Hazelwood's books here. These are all the ones that I've read: Problematic Summer Romance, Love Theoretically, Love Hypothesis, and Love on the Brain. And then I have the Twisted series by Anna Huang here too. And then we have the Boys of Tommen series, which releasing 10 is that facing that direction. I'm so sorry. So yeah, I've read all of these. 5-star series, of course. And then all my Coho books are back here. Yeah. You know what? She is the one who got me back into reading. I feel like I can't get rid of these for that reason. It's just like a unique and special bond. Like I haven't bought another book from her in over 2 years, and I can't like get myself to get rid of these just because she is the one who got me back into reading in my adult life. Anyways, so moving on to everything that is on the ground here. This video is just chaos. I'm so sorry. Again, Alice Feeney there. And then I have Liz Tom Ford's book, Mile High. I plan on reading the rest of the series. I just haven't yet. So I think I'm going to leave it with like this pile of like romance authors that have like our series. And then I have like a mini fiction pile with Lessons in Chemistry, and then 2 of the TGR books that I've read: Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo and Daisy Jones and the Six. And then those 2 books need to be put in their pile. I have The Paradise Problem, which I read this past summer, and then the deluxe version of Verity. I have no idea why. And then over there, Magnolia Parks. I got to keep it separate. You know, this is just a special book series. Yeah, that. And then I have the Off Campus series by Elle Kennedy together here. All of my, this is getting really chaotic. All of my Abby Jimenez books are here. And then I have all my Sophie Lark books. I've only read this series by her. I'm not even done with it yet. So I just put all those books together. Then I have an Emily Henry pile, and then a Carly Fortune pile, which would go, again, say it with me now, with romance authors that have a series. Or like, I guess this isn't technically a series. That is a series back there. BK Borison's series, the Love Light Farm series, that will definitely go in that pile. I guess these are just kind of like standalones, but they're all by the same author. Yeah, I don't know how to categorize that. And then these are the only two books I have by Lynn Painter, Better Than the Movies, and then The Do Over. And then all of my Inheritance Games books. And then I have the second book to the Good Girl's Guide to Murder series. I just haven't read it yet. And I don't really have enough like thrillers and mysteries to have its own section. So I think I would just put it with like fantasy, I guess. And then moving on to the rest of my fantasy books, of course, the Letters of Enchantment series, and then the Once Upon a Broken Heart series, the first book of Caraval down there at the bottom, then Dance of Thieves, which I have the second book upstairs. I don't know if I'm going to read it, to be honest with you. I didn't really enjoy Dance of Thieves, which is, I feel like, an unpopular opinion. I don't even know if this angle looks good. Yeah, I couldn't even tell you what it's about. I don't remember it at all. But I have Vow of Thieves upstairs, and people actually like it better than Dance of Thieves. So I'm willing to give it a shot this winter. We'll see. But it's down there for now. And then I have the Heartless Hunter series. I don't know if it has Crimson Moth. That's what it is. Yep. And then, oh, that fiction book needs to go with the pile. Kristen Hanna, the Nightingale. Yep. And then I don't know what that series is called. It's the Emily McIntyre, like with she makes the villains like the main character. So like Hooked is like Captain Hook, and then Scarred is Scar from The Lion King. You know what I'm talking about. So I have those books, and those are definitely under the fantasy category. And then lastly, I have my Serpent in the Wings of Night, which are the Crown of Nyaxia series, and then Powerless series by Lauren Roberts. And then I have these probably smut editions of the Dawn of Onyx series. I don't know if this has a name. Oh, Sacred Stones, I think it's called. The Sacred Stones trilogy. So I have those three books as well. And again, they're exclusive from Probably Smut, and I love them, and they're very beautiful. So that is the overview of everything I've got going on right now. And now we need to put it in these shelves. Shelves are pretty deep themselves. They have to be like over a foot deep. So we are going to have to sacrifice a few books that are not going to be seen that will be stacked. Maybe we can stack them in piles like this and then do a row in the front. I'm thinking the sacrifice books need to be the standalones in the back. So I think we can stack them on their sides, maybe double story here, and then I only have one shelf over here because we got a bunch of game cords and trophies in here. So I have the bottom shelf to an extent. I don't want to cover what's going on down there because I don't know what's going on down there. So we're gonna see what we can do here. I'm getting to the point where looking at this is overwhelming, and I want to get these in the shelves. These are the books that are standalones. So I think what I want to do is stack them, and then we'll see how much space we have and go from there. Because technically the books in the back are the ones that are not going to be seen. So it's not like I don't care about these books. It's just that I like keeping series and authors together as much as possible. And right now, these are authors that I don't see myself in the foreseeable future purchasing more from. Maybe I will, and then we'll go from there. But I currently own no other books by these authors, is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, we're just going to stack these and see what happens. All right, so here is our first little stack here. I know this is a fiction book, but I only own one book by Bonnie Garmis, and it's a hardcover, and I want it on the bottom. So as you can see, I have Between Friends and Lovers, and then Past the Broken Bridges, By a Thread by Lucy Score. I don't know if I'm going to read more of her books. This is the only Lucy Score book I read, but again, in the foreseeable future, I just don't see myself reading any more of her books at the moment. I will, just not right now. I don't feel like it. So next, Love Letter to Whiskey, Love and Gelato, Tell Me Lies, Before We Were Strangers. I do. I don't know if I have no, I don't have another Renee Carlino book. That's the only one. Ghosted, and Not So Meet Cute. That's the only Megan Quinn book I've read. I know she has hundreds of books. She has a lot of books. I just don't know if I'll buy the physical copy of them just because they are on KU. And then Say You Swear. I haven't read the second or third book in this little series she has going on. Things I Wish I Told My Mother, and then The Hotel Nantucket, Lessons in Chemistry, and just last night, And Only Love Can Hurt Like This by Paige Toon, which I have another book of hers. So maybe we take this out. Here is what the shelf looks like before I put any books in front. So we went over this half. I ended up putting Alice Feeney's Good Girl Bad, and then TJR, sorry, and then Mahari McFarlane's Just Last Night, and then 2 more Alice Feeney books there, then To Kill a Mockingbird, and then I ended up putting Kristen Hanna and Paige Toon on this stack as well, even though I have more of their books upstairs. I'm gonna leave space for some of their other books, but on this side now we have the Inheritance Games series by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, then Letters of Enchantment, and then the Once Upon a Broken Heart series. Then I put the Love Light Farm series there, and then my 2 Lynn Painter books there as well. So we're gonna do this front. I'm trying to decide what I want to, oh, by the way, I ended up putting all of my Colleen Hoover books in this shelf here with the cables, just because I don't mind if they get covered, so. But I still haven't decided what I want to stack in the back. Maybe my Throne of Glass, I don't know yet, but we still got a lot to go, so let's keep going. All right, so I quickly just did this front half of the shelf. So I put my Boys of Tom in here. I put all of my Abby Jimenez books here, and I kept them in their like respective series. I don't know if this is the correct order for this one, but then I have the Part of Your World series, and then I have my off-campus books, and then I have all of my Emily Henry books, so Great Big Beautiful Life, Happy Place, Funny Story, Beach Read, and then this is like a special copy of Beach Read, and then just my regular copy, and then Book Lovers, and then I have my Carly Fortune books, and I left a spot for One Golden Summer, which I just finished reading, so there's a spot for it to go with the other Carly Fortune books. But that is the overview of this first half of the shelf. Now we have to do the bottom. Right, mini update here. We have the back half of the bottom shelf here. So starting on this side from bottom up, we have the annotated version of Archer's Voice by Mia Sheridan. She like released an edition with all of like her annotations inside, and then I annotated that same copy. So that was super cool. Then we have the Summer I Turned Pretty series, If You Had Been With Me, then all of Ashley Poston's books, and then my regular version of Archer's Voice, and then 2 books from Crazy Rich Asians. I have the 3rd upstairs, and then I just got the 2nd book in the Rebel Blue Ranch series. Yeah, that's what it's called, by Lila Sage. And then I have another Hannah Bodum Young book. So I kept these on the top just so I can move them around. And then here I have all these authors together, as you can see. So Liana Sincati, Hannah Grace, Sarah Adams, Lauren Asher, and then 2 other authors that I have more books that I haven't read by them, but I own them. So these are down here. I have more upstairs that I have not read. And then I put Throne of Glass here in the back, and then ACOTAR back here as well, because it's not, that space isn't wide enough for a book to lay flat, like down horizontally like the rest of these. So I just put my ACOTAR there, and maybe I can stack some books on top of it, but we'll see. Now we're gonna do the front half of this. Yay. All right, here is, I actually finished both shelves, but let's start with this one. So I put the Empyrean series first. This may change, may shift. I just needed to get the books in here. Then I put the original Magnolia Parks covers in the front, and I ended up putting the new covers in the back. So that goes to show you my priority. Anyway, then I put the Twisted series, the Chestnut Spring series, and then the Rose Hill series there. And then I have room for Wild Card, which just came in the mail today. I'm so excited. And then over here's kind of a mess. All the way back there, like I said before, are my Colleen Hoover books. And then I ended up putting just some like fantasy novels here. I don't know what's at the bottom here. Oh, okay. I don't know what that series is called. And then I have the Crimson Moss series down there. And then, yeah, I ended up putting the Entangled with Fae series and then the Caraval series. I've only read the first book and that was a long time ago, but I do want to continue that series. Then I put my Dance of Thieves there, and then the Brutal Birthright series, and then the Sacred Stones trilogy, then the Powerless trilogy, and then the Carissa Broadbent Crowns of Nyaxia series. And then I put Good Girl's Guide to Murder here. We'll see what happens when I finish the next book. Same with Zodiac Academy. I'm so screwed on space when it comes to putting this series together because there's like 10 books in this series. So we'll see what happens there. And then put my Allie Hazelwood books together. And then my Christina Lauren book and my my Liz Tom Fordy book there as well. So I just did not, I don't know. I didn't want to put, I don't know what I'm thinking here. I just wanted to get these books in this shelf. Anyways, and then behind this stack are all the books that I'm selling. So let me pull this out. So yeah, you can see Shatter Me, and then there's a bunch of books piled down, and those are the books that I am selling. But that is my entire book collection, and I didn't count. So we're just gonna have to say a little more than 100. I think that's where I'm at. So yeah, those are all the books that I own, and me putting them into a limited and tiny space. So yay. All right, and those are all the books that I own. That is the end of this video. If you liked it, make sure to give it a like. Comment down below your favorite book that you've read this year. I would love to know. And subscribe, please. It would be so very kind. Links to all my social media are linked down below, including my Goodreads and Fable. You can friend request me on Goodreads, and I will accept your friend requests, and follow me on Fable, and I will follow you back on Fable so we can be book besties. If you want to see makeup content, you can check out my TikTok. I post makeup content on there. And then my Instagram is just fun behind the scenes stuff like food and what I'm drinking. But that is all I have for you for today's video. And that's all from me. So I hope to see you guys in another video soon. All right. Bye.